Bobby Lee, thank you very much for joining us today to talk about Bitcoin. It's garnering a lot of attention lately, mostly because of the market volatility. Not only has mainland China markets tanked, Greece's debt situation also a worry for investors. So they're actually looking at investing in Bitcoin now. Has it become so mainstream that it's become a safe haven investment?
It is different because Bitcoin is actually the world's first digital asset class. What that means is different from all the other asset class investments we have, everything from stocks to bonds to real estate, commodities, so it's all different. And when you have high volatility in the Chinese stock market, equities market, when you have risks or all the stuff that's going on with the Greek euro crisis, people are looking for other venues to make their investments. And Bitcoin is looking as a potentially good safe haven because it's the world's first digital asset class. It's a different choice.
And talk a little bit about the price the price increase that you've seen in relation to what's been happening on the mainland market.
Yeah, it just happens that the Greek euro crisis and all the Chinese stock market happened around the same time in the last month and a half. And we've seen an appreciation about 10, 15, 20% in Bitcoin. And also a huge increase in trading volumes on our Chinese exchange.
And are you seeing that mostly here in mainland where people are aware and very conscious of being involved in the equity markets?
Certainly. The world's premier traders for Bitcoin are mostly in China. So on BTC China, we saw huge spikes in trading volumes. And of course, it's not just in China, it's worldwide. You have many exchanges around the world. When prices go up in China, Bitcoin prices also go up in Europe, they go up in the US, in South America, Africa, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and we were talking about Greece earlier. So when the bailout talks were happening, a lot of people speculated, are they going to have a parallel currency? Are they going to utilize Bitcoin? I mean, what were the possibilities of that happening?
Well, you have to ask the European central banks what are the possibilities of having a parallel currency. But certainly it's a scary thought, right? Imagine if you have euros in the Greek bank account and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is going to get a haircut or this is worth less than the same euros in a German bank account. That's very scary. So many people in Greece would want to hold Bitcoin, either receive Bitcoin or get paid in Bitcoin and use Bitcoin to hold their store of value, so to speak.
And how active was it there in relation to what was happening in Greece?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go out to Greece at the time. But what I do know is a lot of people in America, relatives of people in Greece, were sending in physical cash, euros, to help the people in Greece. Right? So when you have a crisis like that, it's very severe with ATM withdrawal limits and all that stuff. With Bitcoin, you wouldn't ever have that problem. If people would hold their Bitcoins, you could send Bitcoins worldwide with very low fees, instantaneous, without relying on any third party. So those are the appealing factors of Bitcoin. Like I tell most people, the reason Bitcoin is successful today, or moderately successful today, is not because just Bitcoin itself. It's also due to the existing financial system. Some of the flaws of the other alternatives, whether it's gold, whether it's fiat money, euros, US dollar, and so on.
There was just a panel here talking about the online payment system, and with that becoming more and more popular and O2O, online to offline, businesses increasing, a lot more online payment services needed. Is there going to be more opportunities for Bitcoin to be used?
Yes, Bitcoin will be used more worldwide. I think the world is getting a smaller place. With the internet, now with apps and also a global app store, whether it's iOS or Android, what we're seeing is real applications deployed globally. People can now, in one country, can buy goods and services from a different country. And of course, we have global payment systems like Visa, MasterCard, American Express. So Bitcoin is just one more choice for consumers to pay. There are still websites that only take credit cards, and then when you live in China or certain countries in Africa, if you don't have access to your credit cards, it's very hard for you to make these international purchases, right? Do we want to see more international purchases in the next 5 years, 10 years? Of course, we want to see more global e-commerce. And how do we enable more global e-commerce? To have more rich variety of payment solutions, whether it's Bitcoin or other sources.
Yeah, and here in Hong Kong, it was late last year that there was a Bitcoin scandal, but since then, Hong Kong has reacted to that, but the local banks are now looking at ways to partner with app developers to create, to work together for future fintech possibilities, and Bitcoin being one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I love about Hong Kong and China. Very pro-innovation. There's a huge startup community in Hong Kong, also in Shanghai where we're based. And what we're seeing is that we see the future trend. We want to see more fintech, want to see more solutions to allow apps to make payments and so on. So I think Bitcoin and blockchain technology is part of the solution. I think government regulation will also be important to help guide the whole transition, because we do want to stamp out criminal activity. With, for example, the scandal last year, there will continue to be companies that go out of business in the Bitcoin space, just like in any space. There are banks that go out of business, right? There are financial institutions that go out of business. There are restaurants that go out of business. It's just a normal cycle. That it's healthy for innovation. You want to recycle the old stuff. You want new innovation.
Well, Bobby Lee, thank you very much, and good luck. And I hope you find lots of success here at the RISE conference.
Thank you.